In this video, I'm just going to show you why you shouldn't use word shapes in your books, and especially your Kindle books, okay? Now, as you can see, I've got a rectangle and something that's not a rectangle, a triangle, an isosceles triangle. And I have two arrows and some text. Now, the text, if I turn on show hide characters, is just 3 paragraph returns to bring the text down to the required level, or the shapes down to the required level. And I've used tab stops. Now sometimes I'll see this, which is even worse, but you should use tab stops for precision whenever you're using them. But I'm going to show you why it won't work in this instance. Now, if you are using word shapes in any other kind of document or material, then it's always a good idea to group them. So you left click on one of them, hold down the control key, left click on the next one with the control key held down, then just click on all of them, then right click, then select group, and then you can group them. Now you can select group those two together if you wanted, and then group those two together, and then group all of them. However you want to do it, doesn't really matter. But the problem is you can't group text with shapes. So what I'm now going to do, I'll just quickly save that, then I'm going to do save as, and I'm going to save it as web page filtered HTML, and then import it into Calibre for my Kindle book, okay? So this is now viewing HTML. I come to Calibre and I add, and there's my word shapes HTML file. Click on convert, go with the default options, only takes a second, save it to disk, and there's my file. Now if I open it in my Kindle previewer, that's what it looks like, and that's what your Kindle book will look like. So okay, the shapes have kind of stayed there, but the text hasn't. So the other way we can do it, so we can, I'll close the HTML file down and then I'll open up my Word doc again. So let's get rid of that particular text item, turn on show hide characters. Again, they were already on. I'll insert a text box. And then I'll resize my text box and make sure that there is no outline. So now I need to wrap text in front of text or behind text, doesn't really matter. And then I can position that. If I hold down the control key, I can position it with my keyboard arrows, and then this isn't. If I hold the shift key, it resizes the box. If I hold the control key, I can position it. Now, because these are text boxes, I can group them with the main shapes. So now I want web filtered HTML again. There we go, viewing it as HTML. I'll remove that one, and then I'll add word shapes box as HTML, and then I click on convert. Save to disk. There it is. And that's what you get, which is a bit small, but then that's just a resize issue. But look what happens to the boxes. Look, even though I've selected no outline, you get the shadow box of the outline. And that's just another reason why you shouldn't use word shapes for your Kindle books. Okay, don't do them, don't do it. If you want to design like this, then whatever program you're using, and take a screenshot, and then crop it, and then insert that into your Kindle book. That will work If I resample the image to 72, this is what happens. However, I want to keep the width and the height, but I want to reduce the resolution. Now look what happens to the size of the document. And again, I cover this in my Working with Word Images course. So I now save that as desktop, and I'll save that as shapes, and I'll save that as a GIF. I don't want to save the... Now if I get rid of that, insert picture, you have to use the insert picture functionality of Word. That then inserts it as a rectangle, and I'll save that as image img. Yes. Then I add my book. There's my img. Then I convert it to Mobi. Save the file to disk. And there's my image. Still not brilliant quality, but it was done in Word, and as you can see, now I don't have the shadow boxes, and as far as the alignment etc. goes, that's as good as you're going to get. Of course, I would actually design that in Photoshop myself, or if you don't have Photoshop, I'd recommend GIMP, and just make sure your images look good, are crystal clear and precise. Hope this helps. Thanks.